Hey, folks, welcome to another episode of Cutter One. I am your host, Jay, just Jay, your resident troublemaker and your resident culture warrior. I hope you are all doing awesome on this lovely Tuesday, Valentine's Day. All right, so speaking of lovely Valentines, let's get right into it with this article. It's about our own dear Guy-Ladriel and potential reasons as to why she lied about Howbland's identity. All right, because they're just starting out. They got some feels for each other. All right, let's get right into it. The Rings of Power: Why Galadriel lied about Halbrand's identity. On the Rings of Power, Galadriel is the main hero, but her lie about Halbland's identity served a selfish purpose. She wants revenge. This is coming to us from Blake Hawkins. Before the Rings of Power came out, everyone assumed that Meteor Man was going to be Sauron. After all, he did fall from the sky in a flaming bit of rock. Then, the first few episodes seemed to confirm that premise. Galadriel commented on Sauron being so evil that heat couldn't touch him. So, when Nori said the Meteor Man's meteor wasn't hot, it seemed to be a significant tell. However, Meteor Man became known as the Stranger, and a new perspective came with the new name. He started to bond with the Harfoots, and over time, he didn't act evil at all. About that time, Halbrand started looking more suspicious, and over the latter half of the season, the signs and hints compounded. The signs and hints compounded. In the season finale, it became official, as the supposed king of the Southlands told Galadriel that he was Sauron. Yet, Guy-Ladriel never outed him to the other elves, and it turns out that she had a selfish reason for not snitching. Why Guy-Ladriel lied about Halbland's being Sauron. Episode 8, Alloyed, Guy-Ladriel and an injured Halbland arrived in Eregion. There, Halbland was healed, and he helped Celebrimbor find a way to forge the newfound mithril. That's when Guy-Ladriel noted that he was acting strange, so she confronted him, and Halbrand didn't hold back. He admitted that he was Sauron and tried to coax Guy-Ladriel into being his queen. When she refused, he put her to sleep and nearly drowned her in a stream. Shortly after, Elrond found her and saved her, but Guy-Ladriel wouldn't detail what had happened. She said that they shouldn't have any further dealings with Halbrand and left it at that. Some fans thought that Sauron had bewitched her into keeping his secret, and others thought that Guy-Ladriel lied because she was still thinking about joining Sauron. But both of those theories are simply wrong. Guy-Ladriel didn't come clean because she still wanted revenge on Sauron. What would have happened if she had outed Sauron? Celebrimbor might have finished the Three Rings, but knowing Sauron's involvement, Gil-galad would have ordered that they be destroyed. Without the mithril in the Three Rings, the elves would have continued fading and would have been forced to leave Middle-earth. Guy-Ladriel, however, didn't want to leave. She had already refused to leave once because she wanted to continue hunting Sauron. That's why she decided to lie about Sauron's identity, so that she could go after him. Guy-Ladriel's need for revenge was about avenging Finrod. I hate that face, by the way. I don't know about that. Sorry to get off it. That is not Galadriel. Okay, anyway. Guy-Ladriel wanted revenge on Sauron because he had played her. She hunted him for centuries. Then she met Halbrand and had no idea that he was the Dark Lord. To have worked so hard only to discover that she'd been enabling her most hated enemy would have been embarrassing. Guy-Ladriel's need for revenge was much deeper than embarrassment, however. During the First Age, Sauron killed Guy-Ladriel's brother, Finrod. In Lord of the Rings, that happened in the Lay of Leithian. Finrod was helping Beren on the quest for the Silmaril when Sauron imprisoned them and sent a werewolf to kill their companions one by one. Finrod sacrificed himself to keep the monster from killing Beren. While the Rings of Power didn't detail that exact story, it did confirm that Sauron had killed Finrod. So, Guy-Ladriel vowed to avenge her brother's death, and she wasn't going to waste an opportunity to hunt him, even if it meant lying to Elrond, Celebrimbor, and Gil-galad. Lying to the High King should be a bad idea. But Guy-Ladriel sought vengeance. With that in mind, withholding the truth worked to her advantage. If she had outed Sauron, the elves would have needed to leave Middle-earth, and Sauron would have won. So, in this case, lying was her best option. The Rings of Power Season 2 doesn't have a release date because nobody fucking cares. Season 1 is streaming now on Prime Video, but nobody fucking cares. Why? Because this show is crap. So let's get into it. Let's discuss. Well, they're right. Okay. Guy-Ladriel's reasons for not saying that Halbrand was Sauron were all selfish. They were all selfish, narcissistic things that she's doing. For starters, even in the Rings of Pewter, which is what I refer to this show as, right? The Rings of Pewter. Because it's crap. You know, she's going after Sauron because, quote unquote, he killed her brother, right? But she doesn't know he's the one who actually killed her brother. Like, she wasn't there, right? You know, they bring his body back from the battlefield and he's dead, right? And apparently he's got a map of Mordor cut into him, or, you know, on his body. But it's not like Sauron came down and did that himself, according to the show, right? So, I mean, her reasonings, first of all, are kind of goofy, right? It's kind of like saying, like, hey, I'm going to fly to this country and stuff like that, and kill the leader of said country because when our two countries went to war, my brother was killed in the war, right? You know, she's sort of, it's projecting. So there's that. But yes, everything she's done was all about her. And I love the fact that they try and justify it by saying, you know, that lying to the king should be a bad idea, but she sought vengeance. Okay? So as if that is a justification, right? So if you're seeking vengeance, the law be damned, common sense be damned, the telling the truth to your friends and other loved ones and people that you claim to care about be damned. Your needs, your desires are more important than any of that. So it justifies lying to the king. But then they try to take it a step further and they say, with that in mind, withholding the truth worked to her advantage. If she had outed Sauron, the elves would have needed to leave Middle-earth. No, not necessarily. And Sauron would have won. No, not necessarily. If she outs Sauron there... Okay, they're trying to play 4D chess here and try and be big-brained about it, saying, well, she couldn't have outed Sauron then because if she did, then that would have meant that Gil-galad would have told Celebrimbor to destroy the rings, right? And they had just gotten all the mithril in there, so now they would have had no more mithril, and that means that the elves would have faded and had to leave, right? That's their premise. But since we're now heavily into the territory of completely making shit up, I offer an alternative. Guy-Ladriel outs Halbrand as Sauron. She tells them he was Sauron all along. But she tells Gil-galad and Celebrimbor, do not destroy the rings. We can't destroy the rings. They've got mithril, otherwise we'll fade. But since Sauron has not established anything, he has no army, he has no Barad-dûr, right? He has nothing. He literally just has the quote-unquote land of Mordor. And that's it. And whatever orcs are there, he has to reform his forces and have them regroup and regather, right? Well, if you know he's already Sauron, you know he's back, and you know he's going to Mordor, right? Just go get him. Literally, just go get him. Okay? You don't need to destroy the rings. You go get Sauron. You off him, right? Because I'm assuming they're going to kill him, right? Because, you know, Guy-Ladriel is willing to, you know, commit genocide and ethnic cleansing of Adar and the orcs. So I assume, you know, Halbrand, they're going to off him, right? So go get him, off him, and then you keep the rings. You're good to go. Mithril, the elves don't have to leave, right? Like I said, since we are firmly in the territory with this show of just making shit up, Wouldn't that seem to make a lot more sense than their whole thing of, well, she had to lie because otherwise they would have to destroy the rings and then there'd be no mithril and the elves would fade away like little shadows back to the land of Lucky Charms. No. No. So even within their own fanfic-based nonsense, they can't come up with logical reasons for things to happen. So we just have to pull shit out of our ass. Yeah, Galadriel had to lie, bro. She couldn't let anybody else know that he was Sauron because that would have meant ultimately that the elves would have had to fade away back to Valinor. No, you're just making excuses. Again, this is another article that just tries to pass off storylines from this crappy show as being something on par with intelligent thought, and it still doesn't add up. You can literally, just in the course of this 10-minute video, I have come up with better reasons why she should have told everybody that, hey, guess what, Halbrand is Sauron. Okay, just in the course of this 11-minute video now, okay, I've come up with reasons why everything she did in that show makes no fucking sense. But anyway, that's just me. I'm gonna leave it at that because, I'm starting to get heated again. I'm having those Rings of Pewter flashbacks. It's getting to me. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Other than being as I've often referred to her as, and I'm sorry, I hope nobody gets offended by this, but as I've referred, other than her just naturally being written as an insufferable bitch, do you think Guy-Ladriel was right to withhold that, kind of important piece of information that, I don't know, the big bad is the dude we were all just hanging out with? Or do you think she did the right thing by not telling anybody and saying, don't worry, I'll figure it out? Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Remember, if you like the video, like the video. If you feel like sharing the video, by all means do so. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us get seen. I almost got ahead of myself there. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I would hope that you would consider subscribing today and joining the army of beautiful badasses. We got this thing going and we're building it up, and we're going to be rolling through 2023, getting stronger and growing with each day, hopefully. And then by the time, season 2 of this show comes out, we are going to be there holding the line. All right, and holding them to their feet to the fire and holding them to account. But anyway, so I hope that you would consider joining and subscribing to the channel. And as always, if you are a returning subscriber watching the video, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you are enjoying this Valentine's Day with your significant other. And if not, if you are a single individual, then I hope you are enjoying this Valentine's Day and not having to spend money on anybody but yourself and making the most of it, and go have a beer or your drink of choice on me and make a good time and have a great I don't know, I'm just rambling. Anyway, guys, hope to see you in the next one. Remember, until then, be good, be safe, be awesome, but more importantly, stay more dorkish. Peace.